Skill 4. Find unstated details. A stated detail question asks about one piece of information in the passage rather than the passage as a whole. This type of question really means that 3 of the answers are stated, mentioned, or true in the passage, while one answer is not. You should note that there are 2 kinds of answers to this type of question. 1. There are 3 true answers and one that is not true according to the passage. Or 2. There are 3 true answers and one that is not mentioned in the passage. How to identify the answer. Which of the following is not stated? Which of the following is not mentioned? Which of the following is not discussed? All of the following are true except how to answer the question? 1. Choose a keyword in the question. 2. Scan in the appropriate place in the passage for the keyword or related idea. 3. Look for answers that are definitely true according to the passage. Eliminate those answers. How to identify the question. The answers to these questions are found in order in the passage. Let's read the example. In English, there are many different kinds of expressions that people use to give a name to anything whose name unknown or momentarily forgotten. The word gadget is one such word. It was first used by British sailors in the 1850s and probably came from the French word gâchette, which was a small hook. In everyday use, the word has a more general meaning. Other words are also used to give a name to something unnamed or unknown, and these words tend to be somewhat imaginative. Some of the more commonly used expressions are a what's ye call it, a what's-is, a thingamabob, a thingamajig, a doodad, or a doohickey. This question asks for the one answer that is not true about the word gadget. So 3 of the answers are true and one answer is not. Answer B is the one answer that is not true. The passage states that the word gadget was first used by British sailors in the 1850s, which is in the middle of the 19th century. So answer B is the best answer to this question. Read the passage and TAE your time. Are you be able to answer questions related to passage? Can you do so? Skill 5. Find pronoun referents. What is a pronoun reference? For example, in the sentence, Carlo poured a cup of coffee and sipped it slowly, the pronoun it replaces something previously mentioned, a cup of coffee. The noun or noun phrase that a pronoun refers to is called a referent. This type of question really means that 3 of the answers are stated, mentioned, or true in the passage, while one answer is not. You should note that there are 2 kinds of answers to this type of question. 1. There are 3 true answers and one that is not true according to the passage. Or 2. There are 3 true answers and one that is not mentioned in the passage. Pronouns replace nouns called referents that have been previously stated in the same sentence or paragraph. What is an example of a pronoun referent? For example, in the sentence, John ate the cake his sister baked for him. If we want to know what him refers to, the first noun we come to reading back is sister. The second is cake. In this section, you will sometimes be asked to determine to which noun a pronoun refers. Pronoun reference questions are worded a bit differently. On the paper TOEFL test and the computer TOEFL test, on the paper test, pronoun reference questions. Or click on questions. Example, read the passage. In a pronoun reference question, it is important to understand that a noun is usually used first in a passage, and the pronoun that refers to it comes later. Every time you ask what noun a pronoun refers to, you should look before the pronoun to find the noun. This question asks for the referent for the pronoun they. To answer this question, you should look before the pronoun they for plural nouns that the pronoun could refer to. Humid areas, insects, and these plants come before the pronoun, so they are possible answers. You should understand from the context that these plants have digestive fluids to obtain the necessary nitrogen from the insects. So the best answer to this question is answer B. The following chart outline is the key information that you should remember about pronoun reference. Read the passage and TAE your time. Are you be able to answer questions related to passage? Can you do so? Skill 6. Answer implied detail questions correctly. What is specific detail questions? Detail questions ask the reader to recall specific information such as anecdotes, cited evidence, data, or descriptions used to support the main idea of the passage. The answers to these questions can be found in each passage. The reading section have some problems that will require answers that are not directly stated in the passage. To answer these questions correctly, you will have to draw conclusions from information that is given in the passage. Questions of this type contain the words implied, inferred, likely, or probably to let you know that the answer to the question is not directly stated. How to find a main idea. Point 1. Before read the title. What is the text about? What is the topic? 2. During the reading, look for and carefully read the text features. Is the text fiction? Nonfiction? Look for information, words, and pictures that are repeated throughout the text. 3. After you read, think about the most important point of the topic. What details or examples back up and support the main idea? You will sometimes be asked to answer a multiple-choice question about a reading passage by drawing a conclusion from a specific detail or details in the passage. Questions of this type contain the words implied, inferred, likely, or probably to let you know that the answer to the question is not directly stated. Example, read the passage. In this type of question, it is important to understand that you do not have to pull the answer out of thin air. Instead, some information will be given in the passage, and you will draw a conclusion from that information. Example, look at a multiple-choice example. Eskimos need efficient and adequate means to travel across water, and that the areas where they live are surrounded by oceans, bays, and inlets and dotted with lakes and seas. 2 different types of boats have been developed by the Eskimos, each constructed to meet specific needs. The kayak is something like canoe that has been covered by a deck. A kayak is generally constructed with one opening in the deck for one rider. However, some kayaks are made for 2. Because the deck of a kayak is covered over except for the hole or holes for its rider or riders, a kayak can tip over in the water and roll back up without filling with water and sinking. One of the primary uses of the kayak is for hunting. The umiak is not closed over, as is the kayak. Instead, it is an open boat that is built to hold 10 to 12 passengers. Eskimos have numerous uses for the umiak, which reflect the size of the boat. E.g., the umiak is used to haul belongings from campsite to campsite, and it is used for hunting larger animals that are too big to be hunted in a kayak. Answers. 1. It is implied in the passage that if a kayak has 2 holes, then A. It accommodates 2 riders. B. It is less stable than a kayak with 1 hole. C. It is as large as an umiak. D. It cannot be used on the ocean. Answer. A. It accommodates 2 riders. 2. It can be inferred from the passage that an example of the animals mentioned might be A. A kangaroo. B. A snake. C. A whale. D. A salmon. Answer. C. A whale. Let's move forward to find the skills exercises practice.